Hello all, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, Barbarella, Queen of the Galaxy from 1968. It's directed by Roger Vadim and stars Jane Fonda and John Philip Law. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow. This movie is a trip. It's a lot like watching a psychedelic fever dream, and with one exception, it is a fairly good trip. That exception, of course, being the flesh-eating dolls towards the beginning of the film. Both myself and my husband, upon rewatching this film, both admitted to having nightmares featuring the pint-sized creatures in our younger days. In fact, those little dolls were my first exposure to Barbarella, Queen of the Galaxy. I remember back in middle school, I had woken up early for school at about 5 a.m. one morning and turned on the TV looking for something to watch. And I turned to HBO during that scene of the film, and I thought, based solely on the scene, that it was a horror film. So I stuck around hoping it would be a scary film. Instead, what I got was one crazy fucking 60s film, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. I enjoyed every wild minute of Barbarella, Queen of the Galaxy, even the too long sequence of Pygar flying into the city of Sogo carrying our heroine extraordinaire played by Jane Fonda. Nothing makes sense in this film, but if you just lean into that, you'll have a pretty enjoyable time. First, can we all appreciate that Barbarella, Queen of the Galaxy exists in a future where love won out? I think that's fucking fantastic. The film takes place in, and I had to look this up, the year 40,000, where sex is no longer a physical exchange of sweat and writhing bodies, but a fairly banal, sterile operation where you take pills and touch palms. And if that doesn't make sense, don't worry, the film will show you how it works, both the old-fashioned way and the classy, new way. At one point there's an attempted execution by placing Barbarella in a pleasure machine that she of course overpowers and shorts out with the power of her sensuality, which gets used a lot in this film. One of the things I appreciate most about this film is the opening titles and end credits are very interesting as they move about the screen. Even in its title sequences, Barbarella, Queen of the Galaxy refuses to be a normal affair. And why should it be? This film is definitely a product of its time, the late 60s, the kind of 60s that is later satirized by the Austin Powers movies. But Barbarella, Queen of the Galaxy is as groovy and shagadelic as the interior of Barbarella's spaceship. Nothing but shag, shag, and more shag. I'm giving this film a B- because it is a weird, crazy trip, but doesn't have much substance. Tomorrow I watch the next Stanley Kubrick film in my collection, Barry Lyndon. See y'all then.